All right. Good morning, everybody. I know it is a very early Thursday morning. We had a great live stream on Wednesday night. A lot of people showed up, a lot of great discussion. And typically, these morning live streams, they seem to dwindle down a little bit. They're not as exciting or as lively as the nightly ones. And I get that, man. 8 o'clock in the morning on a weekday, it's tough. That's just Central Time, right? You go out to the East Coast, it's 9. Go out West, 7, 6. I mean, I get it. It's early. But for those of you that are watching now, for those of you that might be watching later to catch the stream, which I think a lot of people do with these morning ones, we do want to welcome you back to the Gridiron Expert. Welcome back, guys. A place where you're going to find nonstop college football content, where you're going to have great discussion, and where we want you to become a part of the GE family. We want to become a part of this GE nation. Ironically, today is a pretty special day. Today, guys, obviously marks the beginning of the NFL season. How about that? Beginning of the NFL season. So, while we will talk plenty of college football today, and while we love and will be taking your questions and comments from the chat, remember next week we'll be bringing back the phones, so you can call us straight to our phone, and we can actually listen to you and make it like a live call-in show a couple times a week. But today we will be taking your questions, we'll be taking your comments, but we want to talk a little bit about the NFL because it's kickoff, baby. It's kickoff weekend, and for me, that's the best time of the year, right? I mean, we are in a position, in a spot now where college football just started. The NFL starting today. We've obviously got the Rams and the Bills tonight. We've got the game Sunday. And now we're in a spot where we've got football pretty much almost every day of the week. I mean, you think about it. Last week we had football 5 days from Thursday to Monday. We're going to have the exact same this week. Thursday night football, the NFL, Friday's college, Saturday's college, Sunday NFL, Monday NFL. And then as we get going, sometimes you have those midweek action games on Tuesday, Wednesday, things like that. I mean, football year round, then you get into October, and you've got football going on both sides. You've got the MLB playoffs. If you're into baseball, last night we actually talked a little bit about baseball in the chat. We had Braves fans, Dodgers fans, Yankees fans, Cardinals fans. I mean, we had a lot of people up there, which is great. So it's the best time of the year, guys, if you're just a sports fan in general, because we've got non-stop sports all the time. And sports that, not that to say they never matter, but this is like the heat of it. Every football game obviously matters. We get to the MLB. The playoffs clearly matter. And there's a point, I think in November where we've got, football, baseball, basketball, and hockey, I think all going at the same time. And it's the best time of the year, 100%. So do want to thank you guys all for joining us today. Give a shout out to my man Scotty B, the Baylor King, SBO Kennels. What's going on, man? Good to have you here tonight or this morning. So used to saying the night because we do so many nightly streams. It's been a while since I did a morning one. But again, morning streams on Mondays and Thursdays at 8 a.m. Central Time. And then Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I think, to be the best ones. Those are typically at 7 p.m. Central Time. So let's just go ahead and dive into it. I know we got a couple people on here who want to answer their questions. We're going to give you a preview of the NFL game tonight. And then we have another college football preview, that a game that I'm sure no one's really talking about, but one that could actually be kind of fun when it's all said and done. So we'll touch on that later in the stream as well. But Scotty, my question of the day, guys, today we come out with a trivia question. My question of the day today was, who do you have winning the Super Bowl? I mean, it's never too early to talk, right? Never too early to think about that type of game and obviously make those type of predictions. The Rams, the reigning champions. Scotty says he's got the Bills just to be different than the Chiefs. Fair. And we'll talk on that in a second. Let's see. SBO Kennels likes the Rams money line tonight, so he's got the Rams over the Bills tonight. What's going on, CCD? Good to have you. He's a Packers fan. Have something to talk about on that. Let's see. And then Clement is also taking the Rams to win against the Bills as well. So good morning, Clement. Good morning, CCD. Thank you guys both for popping in this morning. Scott, I'll answer your question. Then I'm going to go into my little breakdown on the Bills and Rams. Do I think the Cowboys fire their head coach during or after the season? Well, I'll tell you this, Scott. I was not the biggest fan of the Mike McCarthy hire. I really wasn't. I mean, the Cowboys took a guy that, yes, won a Super Bowl with the Packers, but that was like 12 years ago. And CCD, I'm sure can attest to this as a Packers fan. Was he a solid coach? Sure, but he also had a generational quarterback in Aaron Rodgers on his side. And every single year, I feel like the Packers fail to meet their expectations because they get to the NFC Championship. I mean, listen, the Packers haven't even been back to the Super Bowl since they won it over the Steelers in Super Bowl 45. Let's think about that. Haven't even been back. Multiple NFC Championship trips. You had the heartbreaker to Seattle. You had the blowout to, who was it? The Falcons, excuse me. Yeah. Heartbreaker to the Seahawks that they should have won. Had the heartbreaker to the Falcons. It was a blowout. Got blown out by the 49ers, which I know that was Matt LaFleur. That was the coach then. But so many opportunities for Mike McCarthy and the Packers. And go back to Super Bowl 46. Super Bowl 46, I believe it was. The Patriots and Giants played each other. And the Packers were a favorite to get back to Super Bowl that year. And the Giants beat them in Lambeau. So many opportunities for McCarthy. And he just never really lived up to expectations. And it's really transitioned to Matt LaFleur, too. He's a good coach. He's got great talent. But to make so many consistent NFC Championship games and lose, is getting old. I know it's getting old for Packers fans. And I hate it for you. So, CCD, I feel for you, man. And he says McCarthy is a car salesman who eats Twinkies instead of coaching. So, to answer your question, Scotty, do I think the Cowboys fire him? I think the Cowboys have to win a playoff game to keep him. That's my take. The Cowboys have to win the division, get to the playoffs. They're not going to get the number one seeds. They're not going to get the bye week. And then they have to at least make the divisional round. The Cowboys are tired of getting to the playoffs and immediately getting put out. A couple of years ago, we thought they could make a run to the Super Bowl. They looked really, really good. Last year, I think a lot of people thought they'd beat the 49ers in Dallas, and then they had that horrible play call to run the QB draw with 6 seconds left, and it was ridiculous. So I think McCarthy's gone if they don't make the playoffs, or if they do make the playoffs and fail to win a game. That's where he's gone. Jerry Jones wants a Super Bowl, and it sounds horrible, but he wants a Super Bowl before he dies. He's getting on up there. And I don't know if anybody's going to be able to deliver for him. So yes, Scott, to answer your question, I do think he's fired. If that thing does not happen, if they do not win a playoff game. Let's see here. I love CCD's pick, Packers and Bills Super Bowl. That'd be a fun game, man. That'd be awesome. Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, it's different. Bills haven't been to the Super Bowl since the 90s. Packers haven't been since 2010. I would love that. I'd love some parity. That'd be fun to watch. SBO Kennels, Bucks win the Super Bowl and Tom Brady really retires. I agree with that in the sense of if Tom Brady wins the Super Bowl this year, if the Buccaneers win the Super Bowl this year, Tom Brady will retire. The reason Brady came back is because he is so just competitive. He's a stubborn player. He's competitive, and he could not end his career, which again has been the best of all time. Could not end his career on a loss, especially to a loss to the Super Bowl champions. He just couldn't do it. So I think, and the Buccaneers are loaded guys. I mean, almost everybody returns on defense. Brady's back, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Julio Jones, Leonard Fournette. I mean, the team is stacked. Doesn't mean they're going to go all the way, but they're stacked enough to get back there. Brady's still playing at an elite level. So yes, I agree with you. If he wins the Super Bowl, Brady will officially retire. He just wants one more ring. And he would be stupid not to retire. Go out on top, man. Not many players have the opportunity to go out on top like that. Peyton Manning was lucky enough to get there. Obviously, we knew he was struggling down the stretch, and really the Broncos won him that Super Bowl. Brett Favre, an all-time great, didn't really get to go out on top. Joe Montana really didn't get to go out on top because he went from the 49ers to the Chiefs and obviously did not win a Super Bowl with them. So it's hard to do, and it's a lot to ask. But if anybody can do it, it's Brady. Bucks win, he's done for sure. 2016 Cavaliers, big-time victory. What a finals that was, man. That was insane. Why didn't the refs throw the flag in the NFC Championship game? Who knows, man. Who knows? That was rough to watch. I remember watching that game live and I thought it was a delay. I was waiting for the flag to fly in. I don't know if it was bias, man. I genuinely believe that there is a bias among NFL referees and college referees too. I don't know why they would have had something against the Saints. I don't know. I don't know what the deal was there, but that was the most blatant pass interference call, and I don't really call targeting in the NFL, but targeting call popped him in the head before the ball got there, blocked his face, and you can get called for pass interference for face guarding. So I don't know. It blows my mind. Blows my mind that they did not throw that flag, and I hated it. I would have loved. I mean, the Patriots-Rams Super Bowl was fine. I mean, it was not exciting, but it was cool. See a rematch and everything like that. Sean McVay finally getting to his first Super Bowl, but I think we all would have loved to have seen Tom Brady, because they obviously the Chiefs sent you in the AFC Championship. Would have loved to have seen Tom Brady take on Drew Brees in a Super Bowl. I think a lot of people would have loved to have seen Brady and Aaron Rodgers, a Patriots-Packers Super Bowl. Brady and Drew Brees, Patriots-Saints. People would have loved to have seen that type of Super Bowl, and we didn't get it. It's really a shame. It really is a shame. I think the best quarterback Brady has faced in a Super Bowl. I mean, if you want to go way back, it'd be Kurt Warner, obviously with the Rams back with his first Super Bowl back in like 2002. I mean, he faced. Well, who has he faced? He's faced Kurt Warner. I think it was wasn't Jake Delhomme. Who it may have been Jake Delhomme with the Panthers. Donovan McNabb with the Eagles. Eli Manning obviously twice with the Giants. Russell Wilson with the Seahawks. Jared Goff with the Rams. Nick Foles, and then Mahomes when he went to the Bucs. So really not many great quarterback battles for Tom Brady when you think about it. I mean, yeah, Mahomes was decent. Eli Manning beat him twice. Mostly luck, if you ask me, but beat him twice. So I think we would have loved to have seen a better quarterback matchup between two Hall of Famers. Brady obviously won. Brees would have been one. Rodgers would have been one. You know, it would have been fun to see. Shout out to my man Justin Hardy. He retracted his message, but I do want to give him a shout out. He says it's his birthday. So it's Justin's birthday today. Happy birthday, Justin, and roll tide. I'll give you that roll tide, my man. I hope you have a great day. Obviously, Bama in for a big game on Saturday against Texas, so I hope they win for you. But again, congratulations, happy birthday from all of us here at the Gridiron Expert. Don't retract that statement. Don't be ashamed. Last few questions, then we'll really jump into the Rams and Bills, right? Let's see here. 2016 Cavs. Did Dez Bryant catch the ball? Whew. That's a loaded question. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, I think he did. I really do. I don't have any investment really to either team, Cowboys or Packers, but remember watching that game live, and obviously I've watched the replay over and over and over again. I personally believe that he caught that ball. I don't see how he couldn't. To me, when he came down, his arm was like that, and so the ball came down. It never really moved thanks to the ground to me. It didn't really feel like it hit the ground. It popped up out of his hands again, and then he caught it again. So if anything, it'd be like if I fell on my back with the ball and the ball shot up and it fell right back into my arms, it's still a completion. Or if it threw up in the air and the guy intercepted it, that's still an interception. I don't think he dropped that ball. I think that was a horrible call. I think it was a home field advantage call. And for you Cowboy fans out there, to me, that was their best chance to make the Super Bowl because Dallas wins in Green Bay. I'm pretty sure they're hosting the NFC Championship the next week, and I think it would have been against the Seahawks. So you beat Green Bay, which I believe they should have. You get to host Seattle and Dallas, I think. A Seattle team who Dallas had already beat on the road that year. And that was a big upset. Went into Seattle, Legion of Boom, beat Russell Wilson, that squad, in Seattle. They would have gotten to host the NFC Championship for the first time since the 90s. And I think the Cowboys would have made the Super Bowl that year. I really will stand by that. So one play, I think, genuinely prevented Dallas from making the Super Bowl. So yeah, I believe Dez caught it. I really do. I know a lot of people won't like me for that. CCD might not like me for that. He said he did catch it. As a Packers fan, he's like, yeah, he did, but I don't know. And he's also got the 49ers winning the West because he loves Trey Lance. I like that. I like that hot take, man. I really do. I could see it. I thought it was interesting. They brought back Jimmy Garoppolo. I know they were ready to let him go, and they inked him to another contract, but I don't think he's going to be the starter by any means. Lance is the man unless he just tanks. But the West is going to be a fun division. I mean, 49ers, you get the reigning champs in the Rams. Seahawks, don't really know what to expect. Probably not much going to come out of them. with uncertainty at quarterback, Drew Lock and Geno Smith and guys like that. But Pete Carroll, I'm not going to count him out yet. And then the Cardinals. Kyler Murray's there. Obviously, defense needs some work, and the wide receiver core was looking good. And then DeAndre Hopkins got a 6-game suspension. But if they can manage to go like 4-2 in those 6 games, Cardinals could easily be another playoff team and hopefully not tank. They were the last undefeated team last year, then kind of tanked as the year went on, and then got blown out by the Rams. Kind of a horrible finish for Cliff Kingsbury. All right, we will come back. We will hit all of your predictions. I love the division winners. We'll share ours here in a minute. But I want to go ahead and talk about the Bills and Rams. Let's get into this game that we are going to be watching later tonight, less than 12 hours away. What I like most about this game, and obviously the NFL did this on purpose, and it was smart. You have the reigning champions in the Rams. Facing off against the Super Bowl favorite this year in the Bills. So it's almost like a passing of the torch in a way. And real quick, Justin Hardy, my man, we gave you a birthday shout out a few minutes ago. You might not have been here for it, but again, just want to throw that out there. Happy birthday, Justin. Hope you have a great day, and hope your gift, of course, is a big Alabama win. I think you will definitely be getting that. We put that prediction video out yesterday. Go check it out if you haven't seen it yet, but we feel very, very confident Bama's going to take care of business for you. So again, happy birthday, Justin, and roll Tide. But going back to this game, guys, Bills-Rams, Super Bowl favorite in the Bills, reigning champs in the Rams. One thing that blows my mind is I'm very surprised that this game is putting the Rams as a underdog. And I'm being quite honest with you. The Bills are the real deal, 100%. They are the real deal. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. The defense is elite. And it's really been a passing of the torch in the AFC East. I mean, not to say the Patriots are a bad team by any means, but for years they dominated that division. And then all of a sudden the Bills came up and stole the division from them last year, and I believe the year before. So they've won back-to-back AFC East crowns. And right now they're poised for 3, because while the Patriots probably could make the playoffs this year, should take a step forward year 2 with Mac Jones, probably not to the point of beating the Bills. I mean, this team is elite and played in one of the best playoff games of all time last year, and that heartbreaking loss to the Chiefs, and really probably should have beat the Chiefs, man. I mean, when you score a touchdown with like 13 seconds left, you think you've won the game. Unbelievable drive by Patrick Mahomes to put him in field goal range and to tie the game. And then, of course, you win the coin toss and it's ball game. That's another reason why so many people want the NFL overtime rules changed, is because he had a game as good as that. The Bills played that well. Yes, they should have got the stop, but you go to overtime, and when you play a team like Patrick Mahomes or maybe Tom Brady or guys like that, and you lose the coin toss, it's practically a done deal. Not always, but practically a done deal. And you just hate that. You genuinely hate that. I wish there was. I don't know how to fix it with the NFL. I don't know if they should go back to like college rules. I don't know if you should give both teams a chance, but then it goes into double. I don't know how that works. But I am starting to kind of be upset with the overtime rules myself. But neither here nor there. CCD saying the Bills are just better than the Rams. If the Rams were favored, I would have slammed the Bills to cover. And that's understandable. But here's this, guys. It is a home game for the Rams, and sometimes they say they don't have a home field advantage. I believe they do. It is a very emotional night. They're going to raise the Super Bowl banner, so that's obviously a very big deal. So a big night, one of those nights that for every year the reigning champs get to kick off the season. They're the first game of the year. You don't want to see the Super Bowl champs lose, and we rarely see the reigning champions lose on Thursday Night Football in that opening game of the year. Very rarely does that happen. Additionally to that, the Rams do return almost everybody, right? Defense is still very, very solid. You got Jalen Ramsey back there. Yes, they lose Von Miller over to the Bills, ironically. But they do still have Aaron Donald, one of the best defensive players in the league. Offensively, still have Matthew Stafford. Cam Akers should be back from injury, hopefully be a lot better at that point. You obviously got Cooper Kupp. You've got Allen Robinson coming in from the Bears. The offense shouldn't really miss a beat. Should be fine. Over on the Bills side, obviously we know they're solid. You got Josh Allen, you got Devin Singletary, you got Stephon Diggs, you got Knox at tight end. I mean, they're loaded again from top to bottom. One key thing that I'm a little worried about is the fact that the Bills will be missing Tre'Davious White. He's not playing in this game. He's on the PUP list. unplayable list right now. He's not able to play on Thursday night. And to me, that's a bit of a concern. Again, now is one player going to define the entire game? No, he's not a quarterback, right? If the Bills were going to be without Josh Allen, we would definitely be talking. I think a lot more people would be picking the Rams. But losing Tre'Davious Wright is a big loss. One of the best cornerbacks within the entire league. And you wonder, will Matthew Stafford be able to dissect this defense? Will he be able to break down this secondary like he did throughout the entire course of his playoff run last year, beating the Cardinals, beating the Bucks and the 49ers, and then again to the Bengals? This guy was one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL, but was so underrated because of his horrible run with the Lions. We got to see his true potential with a good coach and a good team. What I think this game is going to ultimately come down to, guys, is sure, as cliche as it is, it's quarterback play. Obviously, Josh Allen, an early favorite for MVP. The Bills, an early favorite for the Super Bowl. Can he get anything going against this stingy Rams defense? Does the Rams defense have enough to shut him down, make him struggle, contain him in the pocket, because Josh Allen can run, we do know that, and obviously get any pressure on him? If you give Josh Allen time to deliver in the pocket, well, he's going to deliver. He's going to be able to make those throws. So the Rams have to find a way to get pressure on him. And again, why not? Let's bring it back up here. Boom. You got to find a way to get pressure on the Bills. Got to find a way to shut them down. For Buffalo, the one thing that I would need to do if I were them is take the crowd out of it early, man. Get in there and take the crowd out of it early. You got an electric crowd. The celebrities are going to be out. They're raising the Super Bowl banner. It's a big deal. But if the Bills go out there and jump out to a quick, 10-0 lead, 14-0 lead, you're going to zap that crowd and that momentum. And then it becomes a point of, and I say this with any game, 10 points, 14 points, that's comebackable. You can come back from that. But what I'm saying is when that team scores to make it 14-0, the next drive becomes the biggest drive of the game for any team, right? So, for example, let's say the Bills jump out to a 14-0 lead here, 14-0 lead. The next drive for the Rams has to result in points, because if they fail, the Rams continue the Bills continue to take all the momentum, and one more score, 17-0, 21-0, to me puts the game out of reach. So think about that. That's the same in college too. 10-0, okay, we can come back from that. 14-0, okay, we can come back from that. 17, 21-0, and that's tough. You go from a 2-possession game to a 3-possession game. That's really, really hard to do, which is why the next drive is so important, just to get points on the board. And if you don't, I'm not saying the game's always over, but it never looks good. Rams have got to come out strong. They've got to light up the Bills. They've got to match the Bills' physicality. Sean McDermott has done a phenomenal job with Buffalo, making them not just a good team, but physical. People fear to play them. They're not lucky. I mean, I'll give you an example. And I'm not saying this as an insult at all, but I don't think the Chiefs are necessarily a physical team. The Chiefs are good. But what the Chiefs have is they're electric. They rely on the home run balls, the big plays. They're flashy. They had Patrick Mahomes, who was doing no-look passes and behind-the-back passes. You had Tyreek Hill, who was speedy and was so hard to stop. They were hitting you every play for a 70-yard bomb, things like that. But do I think they were physical? Not really. Someone comes in there and pops them in the mouth, I don't think they're going to know what to do. And I'm curious to see how they do now. Travis Kelce took a bit of a decline last year. He's not on his way out, but a bit of a decline statistically. You lose Tyreek Hill. That's a huge loss. Mahomes was not himself last year. So how do the Chiefs bounce back in 2022? But the Bills, they are physical. They are physical. They will beat you at the line of scrimmage. They will hit you hard. They will force turnovers. They're a good team. And there's a reason, guys, they are the Super Bowl favorites. I saw a poll out there. They took a poll of 25 NFL experts, and you can call them experts at that, but because of some of their picks. But 12 of the 25 picked the Bills to win the Super Bowl this year. So almost half of those analysts picked the Bills to win the Super Bowl this year. Most people, even outside of Buffalo, think the Bills could at least make the Super Bowl this year. That's how good they are. And if you had told a Buffalo fan that about 5-6 years ago, they would have laughed at you. So it's a pretty amazing turnaround in Buffalo. Having said all of that, I am actually picking the Rams to win this game. I am picking the Rams to win this game. I think the loss of Tre'Davious White is huge. I think it's going to open the door for all of the pass catchers of LA. You've got Cooper Kupp, who was amazing last year. You have, obviously, Allen Robinson's going to play a major role. I also think we're underrating the run game for the Rams. They didn't have much of one last year. Cam Akers really wasn't healthy, and I know he came back towards the end of last year, but was not himself. I think with a full offseason behind him, he's going to bounce back a little bit. Not going to torch this Rams defense by any means, but is going to give the Rams just enough balance to maybe set up the pass for Matthew Stafford and get the ball going just a little bit. So I like the Rams at home, and as CCD said, there's going to be like 30,000 Rams fans at max. Yes, because they don't do the best job of supporting their team. I personally wish they had stayed in St. Louis. But yeah, if you're asking me personally, I wish they had. I think the St. Louis people were more passionate about the Rams than the guys in LA. But neither here nor there. Beautiful stadium, great atmosphere, reigning champs versus the favorite for this year. It's going to be a tone-setting game for both teams. But personally, I like Sean McVay to come out and get the job done. It's going to be a fun one, though, tonight, guys. Start of the NFL season. Can't top it. Can't be any better. So I want to give a couple of shout-outs again. We're going to come hit the chat, and then we got to talk about the I-10 rivalry here in a second. So we're gonna jump on that. But my man Cash Money, good morning, man. Good to see you. Nice to have you here. He's got Florida State beating Wake Forest 55-49. So I love the predictions, man. He's come out last week, I believe it was. He had BYU beating Baylor. That happens this Saturday. And we're actually putting out our prediction today for that. So Cash Money, pop in. He's a BYU fan over in Utah right now. We will be breaking down that game tonight at 6 p.m. Central Time. Whether or not we have BYU or Baylor winning remains to be seen. But he's been putting out a lot of predictions there with Florida State beating Wake Forest. I like it. So if that's the case, he's got Florida State beating Wake Forest. I know he's got them beating Louisville. I think he's got them beating Boston College. Cash Money, do you have them beating Clemson? Possibly. Could we see a Florida State BYU New Year's Six bowl game or something like that? Because the Seminoles are looking good, especially with that win over LSU. Do you have them beating Clemson? Because that's not out of the realm of possibility with as bad as their offense looked if they don't make a quarterback change. But thank you very much again for that Super Chat, guys. Super Chat is always on. Last night and Tuesday night, we had a phenomenal Super Chat. Both of them were amazing. Goes a long way. I guess as we always say, that money gets funneled right back into the channel. So whether it's $1, $2, $10, $50, it doesn't matter. Every bit counts, and we appreciate all of it. And the same, again, plugging this in now, goes for our expert picks. Guys, we're making our way with these expert picks. We said if we can reach 100 subscriptions, we've got a really big thing coming to the channel. Really big video, really big thing coming to our channel if we can reach 100. We believe we can do that with the help of you. So maybe you don't want to do a super chat. Go buy a subscription. You can actually make money doing that. And we give you some of the best picks in the country that beat out over 80% of the national analysts. If you don't want to do either of those, go over to Prize Picks. Sign up with Prize Picks. The minimum deposit they require from you is $10. That's all it is. $10, and you help us out tremendously. We get a major cut, not just of the $10, but of the other bets as well. So help us out over on Prize Picks. Use that promo code GRIDIRON. If you sign up with that promo code, throw in $10. They give us a pretty good amount of money, and it helps out a lot. So just $10. Again, that money we throw back into the channel too. It all funnels back into the Gridiron Expert Fund. So help us out. But Cash Money, thank you again. And everybody else, thank you, of course, for your support. The Super Chat's on. The Expert Picks, always available on our website, thegridironexpert.com. So even for those of you watching later on, go take advantage of that, guys. Our Week 2 picks for college just came out yesterday. And our Week 1 picks against the spread for the NFL also came out yesterday. So we're in full force. We are back in full force, making sure that we are putting out picks for both college and NFL, because that's what we have from now until February. And it's going to be amazing. It's going to be the best time of the year. All right. Cash Money says, sadly, Clemson will win. I hate that, too. I hate that. Not to have anything against Clemson. It's just, I was hoping we were going to keep rolling with the Seminoles here. But, hey, you know what? 9, 10, 11 wins for Florida State, based on what I'm kind of gauging from your prediction, that'd be pretty dang good. One loss to Clemson, if I was a Florida State fan, I'd still take that. All right, I want to hit a couple of these comments here before we honor our word and talk about the I-10 rivalry for our man Noah in New Mexico. But let me see here. 2016 Cavaliers. If the Bills don't win the Super Bowl in like the next 5 years, I'll go crazy. Yeah, I think all of Buffalo would. I think the Bills would be pretty livid, man. The talent is there. The coaching is there. There's never been a time for Buffalo to go out and win the Super Bowl. Tom Brady's not even in your division or conference anymore. So the earliest you'd have to run into him that where it would like really affect you would be the Super Bowl. And last year, I believe it was last year, was a great game between the Bills and Bucks. They went to overtime. Brady delivered, won again. He kind of owns the Bills. But man, 5 years, man, if they don't win one in 5 years, I think that window vanishes. They have a very small window here. You got a quarterback that's in their prime. You've got some defensive players that are aging. You never know what's going to happen with contracts. Will Stephon Diggs still be there in 5 years? Will they have some of these, these skilled players around them? You don't know. So much can change in 5 years. So the Super Bowl windows for many teams are very, very small and very short. And the Bills are certainly one of them up there. All right, let's see here. Yeah, 2016 Cavs. Yeah, the NFL definitely knows how to get views because of this matchup between the Rams and the Bills. Probably draw like 3 million views, which some people say doesn't sound like a lot for an NFL game, but it is. For an opening night game, it would be huge. And I think this game's going to live up to the hype. I think it's going to be very close. I think it's going to be a nail-biter coming down to a good finish. And so 3 million views, it's probably going to be one that a lot of people tune in at the end to see who starts the year 1-0, how we kick off this NFL season. He also says that they put the Jets and Giants, no one would watch it. Both are trash. So again, yeah, of course they're going to have to put a good team in there, right? Which again, they honor. That's kind of like a privilege. If you win the Super Bowl, you're going to start the season on Thursday night. You get to come home. You're going to raise your banner, and the first game of the NFL season to kick off the new season is going to be the reigning Super Bowl champion at home against who? You don't know who's going to be against. Obviously, they're going to try to put a decent team against them. You wouldn't have, the Rams versus the Jaguars tonight if they were playing. No one wants to watch that, right? That's more of like a preseason game. So, yes, you're right. I mean, Jets and Giants could be one if one of them won the Super Bowl. But even in the past, the Giants could typically open up with like the Cowboys, America's team. That's how they typically, when the Giants won the Super Bowl in Super Bowl 42 and Super Bowl 46, that's typically who they open up against. The Ravens open up against the Broncos one year. I think that was the year that Peyton Manning threw 7 touchdowns in the opener. Patriots a couple years ago opened against the Steelers and the Chiefs and there's somebody else when they won Super Bowl 53. I'm blanking on. I don't even remember who they opened up the next year. But they've opened up. They've won. They put marquee matchups there because they want people to watch. They want people to get excited about football, and they need a good start to the year. So I agree. It is. It's all about ratings for sure. And personally, I'm okay with that. Would much rather watch the Rams and the Bills, an elite matchup, than the Rams and some crap team that we know they're probably going to beat. All right, let's see here. Yes, Steven. Good morning, Steven, by the way. I guess I missed your name there. Good morning. Happy to have you here. Definitely going to be some scoring in the game. Definitely should be plenty of scoring. Hopefully, I go back and forth between wanting to watch games that are close defensively or fun offensively. I'm more of an offensive guy myself. I think if I was a coach, as we mentioned last night, when I go take the Akron job here in a couple of years, I'm probably going to implement the air raid. I'm big on offense. I'm a pass-heavy guy. So I love games that require that involve a lot of passing, and games that involve a lot of yards, a lot of points. But I also don't mind some good defensive struggles to an extent. Like I was not a fan of Iowa, South Dakota State. If that was a defensive struggle. That was just more like peewee football. But definitely don't want to watch that type of game. But that's why the Rams and Bills will be fun tonight with a lot of good quarterbacks and a lot of points. Let's see here. Last few questions, then we'll move on to the I-10 for New Mexico. Noah, good morning. Good morning, Noah. Happy to have you here, man. Halfway through our show this morning, and we are about to head over to the I-10, so stick around. We're going to be there here in just a few seconds. Glad to have you. I want to give a shout out again to this question here. Do you think people are always hyping the Packers? And they really think Aaron Rodgers is almost done with his career, give him 3 more years. CCD took the Chiefs to win the division, of course. But that AFC West is going to be tough. Chiefs, Broncos with Russell Wilson, Raiders with Josh McDaniel, Derek Carr, Chargers are elite. Some people have the Chargers winning the Super Bowl this year. So it's going to be very, very tough there. And then, let's see. So we're going to get to that in a second. But do I think they're overhyping the Packers? I think every year the Packers get a bunch of hype, and they talk about them so much because of Aaron Rodgers. I mean, Aaron Rodgers could be surrounded by literally middle school football players, and I think the Packers would get like. And that's not me dogging the Packers. I think they do that with any team that has an elite quarterback. You put Tom Brady out there. Tom Brady surrounded by middle school players, you're going to hype up the Bucs. Back when Peyton Manning was around, Peyton Manning, you're going to hype them up because of how good they are. The Packers need help though. They need help at wide receiver. You lose Devontae Adams, you need some guys that are going to step up. They got Lazard, they got Marquez Valdez-Scantling, but neither of those guys are really going to strike fear into their opponents, right? They don't have that one big name wide receiver. They need some help. Packers need some help, and I don't know where they're going to get it. But if anything, Aaron Rodgers is always going to keep them in the hunt, right? Just like with the Patriots, Tom Brady was always going to keep them in the hunt. Peyton Manning was doing the same. The elite quarterbacks are going to keep their teams in the game and find a way to win, even with the lesser wide receiver corps. They'll find a way. The one thing that Packers have failed to do with Aaron Rodgers is pair him with a decent defense. He's done everything he can every single year, and the defenses typically don't show up for him when it matters, specifically in the playoffs. Blowout loss to the Falcons, blew it against the Seahawks, blew it against the 49ers, both times, last year in the divisional and in the NFC Championship a few years ago. They need help. They need help. So I don't think they're overhyping him. I think they deserve the hype. But I do agree that the Packers don't have much time left with Aaron Rodgers. I'm actually surprised he's still there. I thought this might be his last year. Last year he was going to be gone. So the fact he stuck around this long is surprising to me. Packers fans need to be grateful for that because many people thought he actually might leave and go to the Broncos or something. But he stuck around in Green Bay. I think that's where he'll end his career, but I think his career will end, as you said, in the next 3 years. I wouldn't be surprised to see it end this year. He's like Brady, in my opinion. If he finds a way to win the Super Bowl this year or next year, whenever, next 2 years, he's done. As soon as Aaron Rodgers wins one more, if he's even lucky enough to get to one more, it's over. His career is done. So we shall see. Man, I would love to be an NFL announcer. I appreciate that. Yeah, we do need a young blood in there. I love some of the announcers out there now. I love Jim Nantz. I love Tony Romo. That's a great duo on CBS. Gus Johnson does some more games now. I love Gus Johnson's energy. Got a chance to meet him in Kansas, actually, at Kansas State. So my man Matthew Hazelhorst, if he gets to watch this later on, I was at Kansas State, got to meet Gus Johnson. Heck of a guy. Obviously loved watching his calls, talking about excitement and energy. But man, the ultimate goal is maybe one day we'll be out there calling college games or NFL games. And when we do, we'll make sure to give all you guys a shout out. Live on CBS, live on Fox, ESPN, wherever we are, we'll hook you up. 100%. But yeah. All right, I appreciate that comment, man, for sure. And Waves on Swim, good to see you. Good morning. Good morning. All right, let's do this. We're going to switch over. We're going to hit your comments. We'll come back. We've talked to NFL for a little bit, but we made a promise last night to our guy, New Mexico Noah, who is watching all the way, clearly, from New Mexico as a New Mexico State fan. And I think that's pretty dang awesome, personally. I've always said I think it's great when we get guys on here from different teams. And we've got people watching from all different teams, right? In the SEC, in the Big Ten, packed way out west, away on the East Coast in New York. We have guys watching before in Germany, Canada, Australia, all across the world. It's awesome. But I love getting people on here that go to a certain school, that are currently students at the school. We've had Comic Dude and Will were students at Rutgers. Craig, at one point, was a student at Penn State. Haven't heard from him in a while. Hope he's doing well. But New Mexico Noah, he's a student at New Mexico State. And this weekend, they had their biggest rivalry, arguably, in the I-10, Battle of I-10. New Mexico State at UTEP. Now, is this going to be like a marquee matchup of the weekend? No, it's not. Is this must-see football? Well, for the average fan, no, it's probably not. But you know what? The one cool thing about this game is, it's the fact that it's one of the longest-running rivalries in college football, and no one talks about it. And obviously, yes, New Mexico State and UTEP have been far from the powerhouses, right? They've been far from college football powerhouses. But this is the 99th meeting. 99th meeting between the Aggies and the Miners. That's pretty impressive. First meeting going all the way back to 1914. So they haven't met annually. A couple of years they didn't meet. But 99 meetings between these two. And we're just going to give you a quick breakdown of it. We're just going to give you a quick breakdown for our guy Noah over in New Mexico. We'll start here. Last year UTEP won, right? They beat them 30-3. But they actually snapped a 3-game losing streak to New Mexico State. So the Aggies actually won 3 straight in that series. A couple of years ago, they were actually pretty solid, went bowling, but have kind of faltered since. UTEP guys still dominates the series, 58-38-2. They've won 9 of the last 12. So they've won 58 of the 98 games they've played so far. They've won 9 of the last 12, and they enter Saturday as a 16-point favorite. 16-point favorite over New Mexico State. However, both teams are 0-2. So what does that tell you? Clearly, I think that tells you that despite being 0-2, UTEP is significantly better than New Mexico State. So the odds makers say. New Mexico State, they lost by 11 to Nevada in week 0. They lost 38-0 to Minnesota. That's understandable. UTEP lost 31-13 to North Texas. That was surprising, as UTEP entered the year with some higher expectations. To get blown out by North Texas like that was not really expected. And then they lost 45-13 to Oklahoma. Okay, understandable. So 2 games that could have been wins for New Mexico State and UTEP. Nevada and North Texas both were winnable games. They failed to show up for those. And then Minnesota and Oklahoma, obviously understandable losses. Both teams got paid to go there and lose. So who wins, right? Well, you break down the game a little bit deeper. And again, we're going to go back and show you that logo. Battle of I-10 rivalry here on Saturday night in El Paso. The difference, guys, is the offense here. When you look at the numbers, New Mexico State, they're averaging 197 yards per game this year through 2 games. They're averaging just 61.5 rushing yards per game. And you got to give them a little bit of benefit of the doubt, right? Like, get a team that has struggled for so long, bringing in a brand new head coach in Jerry Kill, who we love that hire. I think Noah mentioned how he loved that hire. A guy who was the head coach at Minnesota for a while, which is why last week was such an intriguing matchup. Jerry Kill going back to his former school. But obviously a guy who's passionate about the game and who has, everywhere he's been, has not built up to a powerhouse, but has stabilized the program. And that's what New Mexico State needs. They need someone in there to stabilize this program and to maybe not even get to the bowl games consistently, but just to start winning some games consistently. They're tired of winless seasons and one-win seasons. They need to get more than that. So you got to come some slack. And we know this is going to be a bit of a rebuilding project for the Aggies, right? I will give him credit. I believe Gavin Frakes has actually shown flashes of brilliance, at quarterback. He has shown flashes of good things as quarterback for New Mexico State. This is still a young team, though. He's only a freshman. So you give this guy, this year and 2 more, by his junior year, he could probably be a pretty solid quarterback. And this New Mexico State team as a whole could be pretty solid. I mean, that's what they did a couple years ago. They built and they built and they built, and they finally got to their bowl game and won it. It was the first one since 1950 or 1967, something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was. And guys, look at that. Look at that, real quick. Just got an expert pick sale. How about that? So I don't know. This was LaRon Ferguson, my man LaRon. I don't know if he's watching us on the stream right now or if he's just out there and saw us. I don't know. But LaRon, wherever you are, we appreciate you. Gets us another step closer to 100 expert pick sales. How about that? That's an extra 1%, guys. We need 100. Talking about 100, we just made a sale. That's 1%. So it continues to push us towards that goal, which is great for us and even better for you guys. I'm telling you, you do not want to miss what happens if we get to 100 subscriptions there. So, LaRon, thank you very much. We're pumped to have you. Welcome to the team. Welcome to big-time winnings. Because we guarantee you we're going to finish with a winning record. And we guarantee you we're going to beat out over 80% of the national analysts again. And it was SBO Kennels. Look at that. Look at that. Didn't know exactly who it was, but it was SBO Kennels. So, man, appreciate you. Thank you for your support, my man. You are a member of the GE. You already were before, man. 100%. More so now. So I appreciate your support. Utilize those picks, man. We're excited. We're pumped. Yeah, we are going to have a really, really good year, a profitable year. We're excited for it. So thank you again for your purchase, man. If you ever have any questions, comments, concerns about them, always shoot me an email or just throw a question in the chat, and we'll always get back to you, man. It's one thing that I can promise anybody here on the chat. If you shoot me an email, I can guarantee you we're going to get back to you within the day. It's like the gridiron guarantee here. Customer service is our specialty, not just with the expert picks, but even if you just shoot us something, a question about a team or the channel or whatever, we will always make sure to get back to you within the day through email. So, 100%. So appreciate you, my man. Thanks so much. Another step forward to reaching our goal. And it means a lot. It means a lot. So, guys, again, Super Chat's always on. Helps us out big time. Expert picks. Be like Mr. Kennels here. Be like SBO Kennels. And join the team buying those expert picks. Again, utilizing those college football picks and NFL picks. And, of course, utilize prize picks as well. Only $10 over there using our code. And you contribute to the Gridiron Expert in a major, major way. So, all right, we'll come back here and finish this up real quick for our man Noah, who I hope has had a chance to get to watch some of this. And if not, hopefully he'll come back and be able to check it out. We mentioned New Mexico State, they're young. They have shown flashes of brilliance. I thought they were way more competitive against Nevada than people thought they'd be, and Jerry Kill is just going to take some time to build this team up. But you look at UTEP, though. Obviously, offensively, they're drastically different. New Mexico State averaging just 197 total yards per game through 2 games. UTEP is averaging way more than that. Gavin Hardison has played well at quarterback, 537 yards and a touchdown. They've got Ronald Awatt. Both those players were huge in helping UTEP get to a bowl game last year, which not many people had the Miners doing. They won 7 games and made a bowl game. They're looking for their back-to-back winning seasons for the first time, I believe, since 2003 and 2004. It's been a long time since UTEP has managed to have consistent success, and they're looking to get that this year. Great quarterback, veteran quarterback, good running back, veteran running back. The kicker is this, guys. Both teams are allowing over 200 rushing yards per game. Both teams have struggled to stop the run. Both teams are averaging less than 70 rushing yards per game. So both teams have struggled to run the ball, but they're now going up against a team that is horrible against the run. So someone's going to have a big day. Maybe both teams have a big day. But in the end, guys, personally for me, this is a win that I hate this for you, Noah. I genuinely do. UTEP's going to get this win. It's in El Paso. It is a rivalry game. And when you look at it across the board, talent-wise, experience-wise, UTEP owns it. There's a reason they are a 16-point favorite heading into this game. There's a reason they are a favorite into this game. A big favorite. Both 0-2, two teams that haven't been very good this year, and yet they're a almost 3-possession favorite. There's a reason for that. I like UTEP. I like their experience. I like their play overall. A team that knows how to win, that beat them by 27 points last year. And clearly, as we always say logically, we just don't see a 27-point swing coming for New Mexico State. They will score, I think, more than 3 points. I think they'll get a couple touchdowns on the board, but they will fall in this game. But rest assured, while this is unfortunate, they'll fall in the I-10 rivalry, get the 99th meeting next year, even better when it gets to the big 100. That'll be the fun one. New Mexico State, they're probably going to lose to UTEP. They're probably going to lose next week to Wisconsin. So they're 0-4 under Jerry Kill. No one had them going bowling. You look at their schedule. Right after Wisconsin, back-to-back games against Hawaii and Florida International. Both of those could easily be victories. Later on in the year, they get back-to-back games against UMass and Lamar out of the FCS. All of those are winnable for an Aggies team that has actually shown a little bit of fight this year. A 4-win season, not out of the question. 4-win season, not out of the question. I think that might be pushing it a little bit, but I would not be surprised to see New Mexico State win half of those, win 2 of those 4. And while 2 wins for most people is that's horrible, that's a terrible season. For New Mexico State, that shows signs of improvement. Shows, hey, we're competitive. We're winning a little bit more than we thought. And next year could be even better. Year 2 under Jerry Kill. So, if you are looking for a game to watch this Saturday, tons of marquee matchups. Got one late at night. This one starts around 8 o'clock, I think, Central Time. So if you want to tune something on a little bit, if you just love rivalry games and history, period, Battle of I-10, got to be the game for you. UTEP, New Mexico State. Take part in some history. The 99th meeting between the Aggies and the Miners. We're very, very excited to keep an eye on that one, especially for our man Noah, all the way in New Mexico. Go Aggies. Go Aggies, Noah, and appreciate you and all your support, man. I hope you enjoy the little I-10 preview whenever you get a chance to take a look at it. All right, we are nearing the end of our live stream here. Only have a little bit of time left, but I want to make sure we get back to all the chats and the comments. Again, guys, what we're doing here, big day, right? We obviously have the big-time college football Saturday coming up, as our man Grayson, 6787, just said. Good to have you this morning. Super pumped for the weekend? Yeah, I think thanks to all of us, man. We are pumped for Saturday. We're pumped for Sunday with NFL games. But so we've got a big Saturday with college football, and we've got more analysis on those games coming up. We've got a Tennessee prediction video coming out later this afternoon, 1 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Tonight, we're talking about Baylor and BYU. Don't miss out on that. Tomorrow, we're talking about Kentucky and Florida. Don't miss out on that. So we've got 3 more individual prediction videos that we're putting out for some of the biggest games of this weekend. We won't be here on Saturday. Obviously, we're going to take that day off for like many of you will, to kick back, relax, and watch all the big games, take some notes, watch some film, and then hopefully we'll be back here on Sunday with our recap video, and then the live streams and everything will pick up again on Monday, and we'll start breaking down week 2, recapping that, but definitely diving into week 3 every week. This gets bigger and better. So super pumped about that. But yeah, shout out to Grayson. Good to have you, man. Thanks for joining us this morning. Trevor, Lorenzo, Salazar, good to have you both. And I love Trevor here. He's a student at FSU, so I love getting students on the stream, man. I love getting students on here. But he's a dog for life. I love it. FSU, and you know what? Mad respect, genuinely. I think just because you go to a school, first, that doesn't mean you have to support them. But even if you do, you can still have your team. You have so many people that, I say, for me, I'll give you an example. Y'all know this. I am an Arkansas fan through and through. I've been a Razorback fan my whole life, been raised that way. But I wasn't, going to the University of Arkansas wasn't an option for me. Not because there were issues there, because I didn't want to go. That school didn't fit me personally. It wasn't where I wanted to go. So I stayed in the state. I went to Arkansas State. I'll be honest with you, if I had left, if I had gone out of state, I would have gone to Baylor. That was my second choice out of state, was Baylor. So Scotty B, I don't know if you ever knew that, if he's even still here, but I was contemplating going to Baylor for a little while. So Arkansas for me is my favorite team, but I went to ASU. I'm not a Red Wolf fan. I'm not a diehard Red Wolf fan. I hope they do well. I don't hate them by any means, but if you make me choose between the two, I'm going to pick Arkansas every single time, just like you. Trevor, he's at Florida State, but he's a dog for life. You probably like the Seminoles. Probably support the Seminoles, but still a dog for life, and that's exactly how I've been too. But yeah, Arkansas was up there for me as my team, but for schooling, went to ASU, contemplated Baylor. If I had gone out of state, Baylor was probably my number one choice. I love the campus. I love the passion there. I love the people there. It's a tough school. It's an expensive school, but yeah, I've been a big Baylor guy for sure. So yeah, learn something new every day. Scrolling back up to the top here, we'll hit on some of these other comments. CCD, you're gonna make the playoffs, man. As a Packers fan, yeah, the very worst making the playoffs, you'll be there. Look, you're in a division with the Vikings, the Bears, and the Lions. The toughest test is the Vikings, and ironically, you guys are only about a point and a half favored against the Vikings. So that'll be interesting. It'll be a tougher road. Lions are improving. Vikings are never a slouch. Their offense could hang. But overall, Packers are still the best team in that division. So you'll be all right. You'll be all right. I agree. Clement, Gus Johnson, and Joel Klatt are fantastic on Fox. They really are. They're a very good duo there. So, yeah, that's probably one of the better duos for college football is Johnson and Klatt. NFL, I love Romo and Nance. Can't stand Chris Collinsworth. Honestly, he's not very good. He's funny, but he's not great. But yeah, we really do have some great duos when it comes to the broadcast guys, the broadcast teams. Let's see here. Again, major shout out again to LaRon, to SBO Kennels, purchasing those expert picks. We really appreciate you and all of your support. Thank you so much for that. Again, he's been a big time member of the GE Nation for a while now, but he's locking it in even more with that expert picks purchase. So we appreciate you, man, so much for that. Let's see who else we got. Eddie, good morning. Who do I think the second overrated quarterback in the SEC is? Second? Who do you think's first? I can't answer that question until I know who you think's first, and then we can dive into that. Let's see here. Yeah, Louisville UCF on Friday night, CCD. That's going to be a fantastic game for sure. I'm very, very excited about Cash Money again. Thank you so much for that another super chat. Just seeing that there. But thank you. Michigan beats every team except Ohio State. Now, probably, right? I think I had them at 10-2 with a loss at Iowa, just because I thought Iowa would be a little bit better. I thought their offense might find some competence between now and last year and the beginning of this year, and they don't. So when that time comes, I might have to switch. My pick to Michigan. We'll see where I am. come, I think, early October, right? It's like October 1st, October 8th, something like that. But yeah, right now Michigan does seem they look great. They look like they haven't missed a beat. Lose some big time players, no big deal. I'm curious to see how they face against a better offense with as much as they lost defensively. I'm curious to see when they face a really decent offense how they will fare. But beauty for Michigan is they don't really play any great offenses until Ohio State. I mean, Iowa isn't going to scare anybody. Michigan State might be okay. Penn State might be okay. But I mean, Rutgers isn't going to do it. Indiana's not going to do it. I'm trying to remember who their cross-division games are too. No, Iowa's one of them. Who are they? Who's the other cross-division game for Michigan this year? Is it? It's not Purdue. It's not Nebraska. Is it Wisconsin? Did Michigan play Wisconsin? If they play Wisconsin, that's not a great offense either. I'm blanking on that for their second cross-division. So, anyways, no one in the West really scares me offensively than Purdue. To be honest with you, Nebraska, Wisconsin, Illinois, none of them really. Maryland would be tough. I know they're in the East. Maryland would be a tough offense for Michigan. I could see that one actually testing their defense a little bit, but still nothing too crazy. Yeah, I agree. CCD, Maryland might challenge them offensively. I just want to see. Michigan lost so much defensively. That's where offensively they should be fine. Still going to be a ground and pound team. Curious to see who they settle on for a quarterback. Whether it's going to be J.J. McCarthy or Cade McNamara. McCarthy gets to start this week against Hawaii. McNamara got the start last week against Colorado State. Who's he going to settle on for week 3 as the full-time starter? That's what I'm interested to see. But the defense lost so much. That's all we've heard about all offseason. But it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter until they face a good offense. We're not going to know until they face a good offense. So very interested. But yeah, Cash Money, I appreciate you. Thank you again for that super chat. CCD, I got a comment about Louisville and UCF. That's going to be a great game on Friday night. What a great way to kick off the week, right? Bounce house game, Cardinals, Knights. Last year's game was a thriller, 42-35 in favor of Louisville, getting that pick 6 there at the very end of the game. Don't know if that's going to be in the cards this year. Louisville looked terrible against Syracuse. I think they bounced back. I think Mikael Cunningham and this team bounced back, but they still look terrible. And so I'm curious to see how that goes for them. UCF looked good. Yes, it was South Carolina State, but John Rice Plumlee looked good at quarterback. I don't think many people thought he might get the starting job, but he looked good. They looked flashy. The offense looked great. I might even contemplate taking the over in that game personally. Excuse me. I don't really think there's going to be much of a defense there. 42-35 last year. Don't think it's going to be that high scoring again this year, but I think it's going to be, a lot of points scored. 2 great offenses, and Louisville should bounce back. Should be a great game. Let's see what else here. Yeah, Steven, I agree. So happy that Sam Hartman is back and healthy. Big smiley faces for that. Obviously, we genuinely want the best for every single college football player out there. And I'm sure most people do. Even if it's a player that's playing for your hated rival. If you're a Michigan fan and someone at Ohio State has a health issue or an injury, you're hopefully not rooting for that and hoping for that. I was really hurt when I heard the news about Sam Hartman and was hoping that he would be back early. I think he's back earlier than I thought he would be. Week 2, awesome. So super pumped that he's back and he's healthy. They got the blood clot removed. There's nothing else there. I hope he doesn't have any more issues, and I hope he just returns to form. Coming back, after taking practically a whole month off from football, no practices, no games, no nothing, it's going to be hard. And Vanderbilt, no slouch. We've noticed, no slouch. Going to be a little closer than people think, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. But I am glad that he's happy and healthy. New Mexico Noah, very glad you got to check it out, man. Very glad you get to watch our I-10 preview. He's still holding on to some hope. I'm holding out the hope for you. I'm supposed to be biased on any game, but for you, man, I might have to. We don't have many UTEP fans on the streams. I might have to lean towards New Mexico State and hope they can hang in there and pull off an upset. But we know it's a huge rivalry in the Borderlands. We know it's an exciting time for you guys. 99th meeting. We genuinely hope for the best. You never know, man. Any given Saturday. But like I said, there's a lot of winnable games on their schedule going forward. Hawaii, FIU, UMass, and Lamar. A 4-win season. Even just winning half of those would show a lot of improvement, I feel like, under Jerry Kill and give some people some hope heading into next year. So good luck on Saturday, man. We're excited to watch it, and we'll make sure to touch on it on our next live stream. Make sure to mention that game that hopefully is close and competitive and just a fun atmosphere and rivalry across the board. I claim I'm a Razorback, but I'm really a Red Wolf. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I hope no one at ASU sees this, but yeah, sure. That's a good comment. I love it. Excuse me. Last couple questions that we'll take here, guys, because I'm about to have to run again. Had the fantasy draft last night. Thought I drafted a pretty solid team. Ended up getting Cooper Kupp with the second pick, so can't complain there. But I got a meeting here in a little bit that I got to run to, believe it or not. You didn't think I just dressed nice for you guys, right? Kidding. We always do. We always like to dress well for Gridiron Expert. Let's see. Yes, Grayson. We will be breaking down Baylor and BYU tonight at 6. Keep an eye on that game. Very excited for that game. One of the best games of week 2 for sure. To answer Eddie's question, the second most overrated quarterback. So he says Spencer Rattler's the most overrated. I don't know if I can go as far and say he's the most overrated yet. I mean, I don't think he's that good. I mean, 2 interceptions against Georgia State, struggled in his final moments at Oklahoma. But as CCD said, it's only been one game. I'm curious, how's he going to do against Arkansas? Does he show up against Arkansas and throw 2 or 3 picks? You know, I do agree with you in the sense of I never thought Spencer Rattler was going to come in here and save South Carolina football. The people that thought Rattler showing up was going to turn them into a 9-10 win team were delusional. And I hate to say that. But they're not. They're not a 9-10 win team. And Rattler was never going to make them that. He was just going to provide stability to the position, a position that didn't have stability at all in 2021. So, sure, based on your rankings, Eddie, let's go ahead and say Spencer Rattler. Let's say he's the most overrated quarterback. The second most overrated? Probably. I would say, can I give you 3? That's kind of lazy. Can I give you like a 3-way tie? I would say Jackson Dart at Ole Miss if he ends up winning that starting job officially. I think people put so much stock into Dart, thought he was the savior again. He's going to be the next Matt Corral. We haven't seen much of him. I don't think it's going to be too much yet. So, I mean, let's, again, see what he can do. Jackson Dart, Haynes King. Let's slow down the hype on him. I mean, A&M just apparently, you could be a peewee kicker and get praised as the best kicker in the nation if you go play for Texas A&M. It's ridiculous. He's a solid quarterback, but I don't think he's as good as people make him out to be. I wasn't that impressed with him last year before we got hurt. Wasn't that impressed with him this last week against Sam Houston. I can give you a better take on Haynes King, whether I think maybe he's going to prove me wrong, and I hope he does, when they take on Miami in week 3. That'll be a very telling story. How does he fare in the big 4-game stretch of Miami, Arkansas, Mississippi State, and Alabama? Those 4 games. How does A&M do? How does Haynes King do? I think he's getting too much hype. I'm actually surprised he won the starting job over Max Johnson, the transfer from LSU. I genuinely am. So I think he's a little overrated, and I'm sure people will hate this too. I'm sure they're going to hate my take on this too, maybe. I'm not completely sold on Anthony Richardson yet. He's good, and we're going to talk about that in our Kentucky-Florida video. I think he's a great player, and Florida doesn't beat Utah without him, 100%. I still need to see more of him as a passer. We know he can run. It was phenomenal. 3 rushing touchdowns against Utah. He's going to run a lot, and you have that skill set, so use it. But let's see you more as a passer. Can you hit the big throws? If you need a game-winning drive, a 2-minute drill where you can't run the ball because there's a possibility, maybe you have no timeouts, can Anthony Richardson deliver? Can he move the ball effectively through the air? Can he hit his throws, his deep throws? Not just the short and intermediate routes, the deep ones. He's a great player, but I think the fact that we're calling for Heisman after 1 game, we do this every year with 1 player. I mean, I don't even remember who last year's was, but one good game from 1 player at a big-name school, and all of a sudden they're going to go win the Heisman. Let's calm down. Let's scale it back a little bit. Let's wait and see how the season goes out. And see how it goes. He's a great player. Again, Florida wouldn't have won without him. They wouldn't be where they are without him. They probably wouldn't beat Kentucky without him if they beat Kentucky. But I'm not completely sold, so we need to wait and see. Let's see. So Haynes King, Jackson Dart. A lot of you guys agree on Jackson Dart. I like that. And then Anthony Richardson, along with Spencer Rattler. I mean, if you're looking for the quality quarterbacks in the SEC, there's plenty of them. Bryce Young, obviously. KJ Jefferson. I love Will Rogers at Mississippi State. Obviously, on the other side, Stetson Bennett was phenomenal against Oregon. Hendon Hooker was great. So right there, that's like 5 quarterbacks that I just mentioned that are really, really good and solid quarterbacks. That might be maybe the top 5 quarterbacks in the SEC right now, in my eyes. Mike Wright is showing improvement, but not one of the top in the conference. Missouri doesn't really have anybody worthy of talking about right now. No offense, Eddie. We talked about Spencer Rattler a little bit. Will Levis is solid for sure, but I'm curious to see how he fares against Florida, because last year against Florida, he was horrible. Horrible against Florida. And without Chris Rodriguez, they need Will Levis to step up to win the Swamp, and I don't know if he can deliver. Again, we'll find out tomorrow, that Florida-Kentucky video. So a lot of major questions there. But not in any specific order, but if I'm ranking my top 5 quarterbacks right now, I think I'd have Young, KJ Jefferson, Will Rogers, Stetson Bennett, and Hendon Hooker. Again, no order, but I think that would be my top 5 quarterbacks in the SEC as of now, as of right now. Let's see here. Cash Money, again, appreciate you on both those super chats again, just single-handedly pumping the $2. I love it. Shout out to his comment up here. Upset. He's throwing out the upsets. He was big on BYU. He was big on Florida State. Now he's got Duke beating Virginia by 14 points. By 14 points, and people are going, whoa, hey now. They're like Cash Money. Come on, Duke. And he's like, yeah, Duke. And so, and then he's got Western Kentucky beats Indiana on top of the hill. I like that. Hilltoppers on top of the hill. Well played. He's got to beat Indiana. And CCT's like, I'm a Big Ten homer. I got to go with Indiana here. I don't know. Western Kentucky, still a very good offense, even though they don't have Zappy anymore. Jarrett Daigie's in there. Didn't look great against Austin Peay, but put up a lot of points against Hawaii. So again, both games not really worthy of discussing because it was against far inferior opponents. But I'm not completely sold on Indiana yet. It was a good win against Illinois for sure. Huge win for them. They looked better than I thought they would. But, last year the game was close against Western Kentucky. They found a way to win, which is probably why I'm leaning towards Indiana. If you can beat that Western Kentucky team, you can probably beat this one. Not to say they're bad, but if you can beat that offense last year as bad as Indiana was, you can probably win again this year, but not ruling it out. So, Cash Money on some big-time upsets. Florida State beats Wake Forest, which we agree with, by the way. But Western Kentucky over Indiana and Duke over Virginia might be the hottest take yet. I love it, and I appreciate you and the support, man. I really do. All right, and with that, good morning, Matthew Hazelhorse. Man, I saw your comment yesterday. Make sure you get, for everybody here, make sure if you're subscribed to us, if you're not, make sure you go subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Hit that bell so you get notifications anytime we post. Obviously, if you're in our Discord, you get notifications there. As soon as we post a video or go live, an alert goes to our Discord. But if you're not, hit that bell so you know anytime we post or anytime we go live. Because I know some people miss out. I didn't even know you were going live. I had no idea. You have all the notifications. You'll know every single time we go live, every time we post a video. That way you don't miss out on any of the content. Even if you can't watch it for the whole time or watch it in the moment, at least you'll know and you can go back and watch later. So make sure to do that, guys. Turn on notifications. It helps us out with the analytics, helps us out with the algorithm, believe it or not. But also helps you guys out so you don't miss much content. That way you don't miss these live streams. But Matthew, good morning. Happy to have you here, man. I know we're about to hop off, but we're pumped to have you here this morning. I will answer your hot take or only real fans had notifications on. I love that. CCD, the man. I'm going to do Matthew's hot take here since he just hopped in, and then we're going to call it a day. Hot take. Oregon is just that bad this year, and Georgia is going to lose 3. One of those being the SEC championship. So Oregon's just really bad. Georgia's victory over them was dominating, not because, and it shouldn't be, let's say, praised as much because they beat just a bad Oregon team. Georgia loses 3 games, one of those being the SEC championship. So Georgia loses 2 in the regular season. Is that what we're saying? And if that's the case, who would they be to? We talked yesterday. Sam asked a good question. Who's Georgia's biggest threat left on their schedule? We said Tennessee, as I think many of you did as well. Tennessee's offense would probably be the only one left on the schedule that could really take Georgia. But, who else? Yeah, who else do they lose to? Is it Kentucky? Is it Mississippi State on the road? That's another offense that could maybe put some points on Georgia, but enough to win. I genuinely think those are probably the toughest 2 games left on Georgia's schedule outside of the SEC championship. Florida, maybe. So one thing that Anthony Richardson could lead another miracle and upset Georgia. And so if you're the last 3 games, toughest 3 games I think left are maybe Florida, Tennessee, and Mississippi State. Only one of those is a true road game. They get to host Tennessee. Florida's in Jacksonville. The road game at Mississippi State. Someone said SBO Kendall says Kentucky. Kentucky possibly. It's in Lexington. But I'm going to need to see more from Kentucky. I was not very impressed with them against Miami, Ohio. If they can beat Florida, I think a lot of things, opinion-wise, will change for me. They're not a bad team by any means. But do they have enough to take down Georgia, to hang with Georgia in Lexington, or even beat Florida? If you can't beat Florida, I don't say they're a bad team, but if you can't beat Florida in the swamp, I don't even know if you can beat Georgia at home. That's how good the Bulldogs are. So this weekend's going to be – this weekend, guys, as I always say, week 1 is great. No one knows what to expect. Week 2 is a very good telling point for a lot of teams. All right, you pulled off Florida. You pulled off a huge upset over Utah. Let's see if you can be consistent. Everybody – I'm not saying they did, but you can get lucky every now and then. Oh, I pulled off an upset here. I pulled off an upset there. Week 2 is an opportunity to see these teams be consistent. Can you play the same way you did in week 1? If you do, okay, maybe you're going to be that good. But a lot of times we see teams lay an egg. You get one good win in week 1, people overhype you, and in week 2 you go right back down, come back down to earth. So I'm really interested to see how that all pans out for Florida and for many of these teams that we've talked about. Let's see how that pans out. But Matthew's saying that Tennessee is the loss, and Florida, if they prove that beating Utah wasn't just a lucky win, like we said, but he does agree that the schedule this year is pretty easy for Georgia, and it is. I think Oregon might have been one of their toughest tests. They beat that by 46. Again, Oregon was one of their toughest tests. Florida, Tennessee, Mississippi State, Kentucky, probably the 4 toughest games left. Only 2 of those on the road at Kentucky, at Mississippi State, and I would honestly be shocked if they lost any of them. Matthew, I wouldn't mind seeing Georgia slip up a few times. I think we'd have someone different in the playoff at that point. We wouldn't have 2 SEC teams in the playoff. It would create more competition with the SEC East. But as dominant as I saw from Georgia in week 1, as CCD said, he's got Georgia at 12-0, as did I. And I feel very good about that too. I don't know if anybody can take down the Dogs until the SEC championship or the college football playoff. But I love the hot take. Maybe Oregon's as bad as you say. We had them losing to Washington State as a big-time upset. And that might not be viewed as a big-time upset anymore if they lose to BYU, as Cash Money would have. He has BYU beating Oregon in week 3, which would mean the Washington State game wouldn't be that big of an upset, but it would send Oregon down to 1-3, and that would be the issue out in Eugene. And last thing there, Cash Money, Stanford over USC, 24-21. You want to talk about teams that are overrated right now, I think USC is one of them. If Stanford at home Saturday night pulls off the win over USC, does Stanford deserve to jump into the top 12? No, they do not. Far from it. But Stanford has won 5 of the last 8 against USC. They beat them last year by 14 points. It's Lincoln Riley's first game. I think David Shaw's anxious to welcome him to Pac-12 country and be like, oh, you think you can just come in here, become a top 10 team like that, and immediately start winning? Yeah, think again. I have USC winning that game, but I would not rule out a Stanford upset, especially if Stanford's improved as much as people are saying. Should be a very fun Saturday, guys. A lot of marquee matchups. We broke down the 5 underrated games. We still have 3 game of the week predictions left to make. 2 of those videos coming out tonight. Again, Tennessee and Pittsburgh at 1 o'clock. Baylor and BYU tonight at 6. Florida and Kentucky tomorrow at 11 a.m. 3 more videos. We're ready to get your thoughts. We're ready to talk some ball, and we're ready to watch some college football. Let's get ready for it, guys. And also, before we do that, make sure to watch the NFL game tonight. Rams, Bills in LA, start of the NFL season again. We have all the football now. Couldn't be any better time of the year. So guys, thank you so much for being here for another Gridiron Expert live stream. It's been a great week. 2 great nightly streams. Ended up being a fantastic morning stream. We appreciate every single one of you. Again, a major shout out to SBO Kennels, my man LaRon. Bought those expert picks this morning, got us 1 step closer to making our goal. Remember, our goal is 100, and he just got us an extra 1% closer. So be like SBO Kennels, be like LaRon. Go sign up for those expert picks, guys. It's a year-long subscription. beat out over 80% of the national analysts. We're going to do it again this year. Can guarantee you that. Take advantage of that. Again, even if you buy now, just because the season started, doesn't mean you're out anything. You get it all the way through next year as well. So buy it in week 2, you get it through week 2 of next year, so forth and so on. So take advantage of it, guys. Hop on, do that. Make sure to subscribe. Guys, we're 60 subscribers away. Come on. 60 subscribers away from 10,000. Help us get there. Spread the word. Retweet us. Share our links. Do whatever you got to do. Let's continue to grow this GE Nation, guys, and get us to 10K. We think we can get there by Saturday, by the end of week 2. We believe we can get there. So hook us up. Help us get to 10K so we can celebrate big next week right here on the live streams. But again, guys, thank you all again so much for your support. Thank you for hopping on this morning. Shout out again to SBO Kennels, Matthew, Scotty B. Let's see. X Skull Razor, Steven. I appreciate you. Matthew Hazelhorst again. Everybody enjoy the game. Cash Money. Appreciate you and all the super chats, man. Go BYU, Florida State, all the Florida schools. He's from Florida. He supports them all. No bias there. FSU, Florida, FAU, and Florida International. It'll be a rough year for him, but we'll hope for the best. But we appreciate every single one of you guys. Thank you guys again all so much for your support. CCD, Waves on Swim, Justin Hardy, happy birthday again. Eddie, Grayson, Stephen Cuffey, Clement, and everybody else who might be watching this one later. I want to make sure I get as many shout-outs in there as possible. But you guys have a great rest of your day. As Matthew said, happy footballing this evening. Enjoy the game, guys. We have another 5 straight days of football. We will be covering the NFL some this year, so don't worry about that. But 5 straight days of football. Again, couldn't be any better. So again, guys, thank you all so much. Have a great rest of your day. We'll post videos tonight and tomorrow, and we'll be back here with a live stream Monday morning, 8 a.m. sharp. Be there.